Andy, first of all, Darryl talked about looking for a response from the players after last Saturday. Have you seen that on the training pitch and in their mentality after that week?
Yeah, I think this group of players has had setbacks before. It's always responded in the right way. I think that comes down to the mentality, the group, the culture that we've built around the place. And it's a game we're really looking forward to on the back of a disappointing performance last week, an even more disappointing result. But playing against one of the big boys in the league gives us a real chance to get back to doing the basics really well, which we need to do tomorrow, make ourselves harder to beat. We've conceded too many goals over the last few weeks. So, yeah, we've had some good discussions, some good analysis of our performances, but it's more about what we can do going forward.
How do you approach it with them? Because they talk about the arm around the shoulder or the kick up the backside. Is that unique to each player, or do you kind of take a blanket approach to it?
No, I think there's things you discuss obviously as a full group and the basics of what are needed in a game of football. But then from knowing the individual and how they respond, the best way they respond to certain things. So yeah, it has to be varied. It can't all be a one size fits all.
Looking at the season in the first, if you like, third of it a bit more now.
Yeah.
I know you both said you probably wanted a few more points than your performances have merited. But I suppose the next step is, how do you go about changing that? How do you go about equating performances with the points that you deserve?
Yeah, I think we do deserve a few more points, but unfortunately sometimes you don't deserve. You've got to earn them as well. We certainly look back over a few games and think we've missed out on opportunities there. So it's constant evaluation of our performances from each game, each block of work, as you say, we're nearly a third of the season and now thinking about how we can improve. But football has a really good habit of, you look at one thing and you think you've solved a problem, and then another little hole appears, so then you've got to solve that problem. But it's constant evaluating where we are, where we're trying to get to. We're trying to evolve as a football club, as a football team, and the players are trying to grow as well. So if we can get all those things right, our performances as again should improve individually and collectively.
How steep a learning curve is this division?
I think you can see the ruthless nature of certainly the attacking players. I think we don't concede many opportunities on our goal. I think if you look at the team at the top of the league, they're more than double the shots they've had on their goal compared to us. So we're doing a lot of things really well. But if you give teams opportunities, they're more likely to take them. It's just common sense, really. The League One players are better than League Two players. So we're all trying to say improve and find the right answers. And sometimes you get a kicking when perhaps sometimes you don't deserve it. So I think there was even moments within last week's game where you score, the game becomes different. Everyone says no goals change games, but they scored at good times. We missed opportunities, and then the game ran away from us a little bit. But yeah, constantly trying to improve the individuals within the team, the units within the team, and then collectively the whole group.
Some of the lads haven't played a lot of League One football. Do you see changes in them and improvements in them as the weeks go by? The ones who perhaps aren't used to this division?
They have to improve. They've got no choice otherwise. If they want to continue on the upward trajectory of the club, they have to improve. We all have to improve. Otherwise, you don't stay around here.
When you look at a team like Charlton, then I suppose that they're another one of this division. You either get teams that have come up from non-league, or you get people who've been in the Premier League. When you look at that real different mix, can that be hard to, if you like, prepare for the variety of styles and the players that you'll come across? Is that unique to this league?
No, I don't think so. I think you look through any league, teams have got different styles, different threats, different weaknesses. So we always do our homework on the next opponent, analyse their strengths and weaknesses, the principles of which they want to try and play. Obviously, Ben's come from Swindon last year playing a certain style and formation. These are playing a different formation, but very much within those principles of what Swindon did. So yeah, tough opponent, but it's a game we're really looking forward to.
Has that kind of helped in some way, that you kind of know how an opposition manager will think?
Yeah and no. We respect every single opponent in the league. From Ipswich, who are the big boys of the league and are proving it week in, week out, to the teams who are maybe below us in the league. We have to respect everyone. You have to earn the right to play every single game. You have to do the basics really, really well to enable you to flourish within the game. So, yeah, we analyse every team. Well, we've got the two lads who are on the analysis team do an incredible amount of work to help us prepare for games, and when we can feed back to the players. So we try and deliver that in a variety of ways, but then all that has to come to fruition for 90 minutes on a Saturday afternoon, because that's where we all get judged.
Lastly, don't laugh at this phrase, it's been pretty wet the last few days, so what effect do you think that might have, particularly given I know the work that's been done on the pitch as well, so what effect do you think that might have on the way the game pans out?
Well, it's definitely affected our preparation. We've had to come up with different solutions of how we can deliver different messages to the players. You have to be flexible. Some things become out of your control, and the wet stuff that comes out of the clouds has been out of our control this week. So, yeah, it's had an effect on the preparation, not in a negative way. We just had to find a different solution. So, I would imagine it will be quite wet out there tomorrow, heavy pitch, but we're ready for the game.